Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to put on like the more Latin American type stuff, and like especially when I was in Ecuador, I want to communicate this food as if I'm communicating like French food or like Italian food, because I think it deserves that much respect. All the foods of like Latin America, so I think it deserves a little bit of like treating it as if it's like a fancier food or something that's like more important, which to me it is, right? So I think it's just the way that you communicate these things is how people perceive it or ingest it, if that makes sense.
I'm Esther Medina, and this is Una Conversación.
All right, right now we're at Finch and Milvan. We're at one of the happiest places on earth. We're at the Plaza Latina.
Meet Kristian, a content creator and certified foodie from Toronto. If he hasn't been on your For You page yet, trust me, he will after this interview. We're sitting down to talk about his journey to content creation and his passion for putting his audience onto the best eats in the GTA. Kristian, thank you so much for being on Una Conversación.
Awesome, really happy to be here. Thank you.
Before we get into our conversation, I just want to thank our sponsor, owner of Wavy Ceviches, Louis Secklin, for letting us use this beautiful space to film today's episode. And we have some delicious eats in front of us. Kristian, it would not be your episode with some goodies to try. So Louis, thank you so much. We have some shrimp tempura here to start with. So why don't we give this a try? Because...
Thank you. I've been looking at this for like half an hour. I'm starving right now.
Cheers.
It looks really good. Cheers. That's really good. I'll tell you if it was bad.
Kristian, we're definitely going to get into the viral videos and all this cool content you're creating. But before we get there, I just want to know, like, when did you start creating content?
I started this last May, in May. So it's going to be almost a year now. In May, basically. I posted my first video, I think.
With the intention to like be a food vlogger?
I don't even know what my intention was, honestly, when I started. Like, the reason I want to do this is because I want to do something that I enjoyed and like find some purpose in like my life apart from just my job. So I thought that this would be like a good little supplement to like just my regular job and like just be able to eat and like just have fun. I don't know. Just have fun.
How does a food influencer supplement this hobby? Like, what you do outside of this, is it like drastically different?
Yeah, well, no, I work in sales, like outside of this, like it's kind of sales. I'm doing sales still, like my whole life is sales. These videos, I view them as sales in a way. Like I'm kind of selling like the little businesses that I work with, right? But no, I guess it's kind of different. Like it's like going from a rigid job to just having some kind of creative outlet, just to have some fun and be silly.
It is not easy to put out the content you're doing, from the way you handle and carry yourself on camera to the funny cuts, the edits. Like, I don't think you realize that you're putting on a one-man show. So like, how did you learn how to edit? Like, I don't understand. Like, you just were born with it? Maybe he's born with it.
Thank you. I don't know. That's so nice. Like, I don't really think about it like that. Like, it's like the editing. So I've been doing it for a year. So like if you watch my first video, I'm sure the editing wasn't that great. I just use like really simple software. It's not hard. I just kind of I learned off YouTube, basically, off YouTube. I think in November I lost my job. So I had so much time to just chill and do nothing. So I really got to focus on editing. I went to Ecuador for a little bit and like filmed a whole bunch of videos. And literally some days when I'm in Ecuador on the beautiful beach, I'm literally just inside my hotel room all day, just like understanding how to edit. So like these little 1-minute videos that I'm editing sometimes took me like 5 hours. So little by little I started getting a little bit better at it.
See,
the editing
like,
part.
This is a hero story. You lost your job. I feel like something always happens, and like the way I find it fascinating how people channel difficult times in their life. So like, walk me through that. You lose your job and you're like, actually, I'm an influencer now.
Yeah, like, I mean, well, it's nice. Like when I started this, like I just did it for fun. I think the cool thing with TikTok is that like the algorithm is like it's very forgiving, especially if you're new. So I noticed that like even now, like I'll see these huge videos by these like people who have like 200 followers and their video gets like 200,000 views. So I think TikTok is kind of easier for you to get started. So like after the first video, I just kind of just did it for fun. Like I went to La Morena, which like side story, like that's my boy who owns that place. So the reason that I went there is because I felt less shy to record the video, because obviously I was like nervous to be critiquing people's food in front of the restaurant, and like I was afraid, right? But that made it easier for me in order to get started. So I just kind of kept going. Once that video became popular, I figured that I could just keep making more. But at that point, I didn't think that like I was gonna do this as like a side hobby, or like I wanted to do it seriously. I just kind of just did it just for jokes, like because me and my friends thought they were funny, honestly.
So was La Morena your first viral video?
I guess, like, I'm not even sure what viral means, but like, because to me, like, viral would be like 1 million views. Like, none of my videos have 1 million views.
No,
so it's like, Yeah, they're little. They're little to me. Like to me, they don't seem like that. They're that big. Like,
I'm like, how do we quantify viral? This is a very deep and philosophical question. You are right. I think that it's different to different people. I'm gonna just throw out a number and say, I think if your video does more than 10K views, that's like baby viral. And then if you get like 50K views, that's like, okay, like
that's big,
your
right?
neighbor probably saw this. But I think you've had numbers even more than 50. And it's so refreshing to know that like you're obviously not doing this for the numbers. You mentioned that your first like La Morena, that review, that's your boy's spot. Like after that, like how did that path look like? Was it like, okay, like which one of my other friends has a spot? Like how did you navigate the next couple videos?
Well, actually, I don't like honestly. I had another friend who owned a bakery in Vaughan, so I went up there to do a review too. So like these first two for me like were really important because I wouldn't have been able to do them at like a place like Huevi Ceviche where I don't know them. Like I would feel kind of awkward and shy to do it, but I think because I knew these people, it made it easier for me to just be myself and just kind of make it fun. But I don't know, like I've always loved food, right? Like before I worked or had any job, like I always wanted to work in restaurants or like be a chef. So my life was always going to be something to do with food. And I worked in restaurants before. I worked in some really good restaurants in Toronto, but I found that like it's very difficult work, right? So I have a lot of respect for it, but I can't do it. So I'm like, let me find something adjacent. And I've always just loved restaurants, like all types of restaurants. So I figured that this would be fun to do because it seemed like so many people were doing it and it looked easy, kind of.
Cool to know that you have experience working in restaurants because I do notice that like some of your older content, you're actually like making dishes and like showing us some of your recipes and stuff. Like who taught you how to cook?
Yeah, so I taught myself how to cook. Like when I was a kid, I wanted to be a chef. So yeah, like that's funny. Like I forgot about those videos because I barely do those types of videos anymore because there's so much effort and like so few people view them. But some people still tell me like, oh my God, I made your seco de carne and it was so good. So it's really nice. Like I love those videos. But who taught me to cook? Like honestly, like YouTube, watching Hell's Kitchen, and my grandfather. My grandpa taught me to make most of my Ecuadorian dishes. My grandparents taught me that.
Wow. I think that's so sweet because it's like, to be honest, when you mentioned who taught you how to cook, I pictured you saying like a female figure, to be honest, like the stereotypical, like my mom, or I watch my mom, or I think it's cool. And I remember a previous guest, owner of Huevi Ceviches, Luis, like I was also impressed that like, I think it's cool when men take that role in our cultures. You know, like shout out to you for doing that and like wanting to get better at it and wanting to learn like traditional recipes because like it's kind of sad to think that like once that generation's gone, like who's carrying on these dishes? Like is there pressure to deliver like the perfect like encebollado or the perfect Ecuadorian dish?
I guess so. And like to your point, like my mom's a great cook too. Like so shout out to my mom. I love my mom. She cooks well, but like she'll even admit that she's not the cook in our family. Like cook in our family was always my grandparents. So my grandfather, my grandmother. They both have very different styles of cooking, so I learned certain dishes from each one. And yeah, like to me, it was my grandpa was the one who's like the big time chef. Like my grandpa was a chef in like a lot of restaurants growing up in Toronto. Like when he moved here from Ecuador, that's pretty much what he did. He worked in restaurants. So I always admired that and what you say is true. Like our grandparents eventually are going to die, like even if that's a little bit morbid. So I have that understanding. And before my grandpa died, I'm like, I need you to show me these recipes because eventually you're going to die and no one else knows them. So I want to be the person to carry these recipes for my family. So it's nice to be able to know them and like, yes, it's a little bit of pressure that if someone wants like a seco de gallina or something like that only my grandpa knew how to make, I have to do it now because like I knew the recipe like perfectly that it tastes almost identical to my grandpa's, which is really nice. So it's important, I think, to carry those traditions.
I love that so much. I'm glad you're doing that. Please bring back those videos in your spare time. So now that I have an understanding of like where you've drawn some of your inspiration from as far as like how you've learned to cook, like I don't think you realize your content is like watching the Discovery Channel and Food Network at the same time because you're somehow so educational while still delivering the facts on the food that you're trying. Is that just like you being you, or like do you have a vision before you go to a restaurant? Like I want to shoot this way, and like do you plan ahead of time or are you just winging it?
No, okay, so like it's 50-50, I think. Like I have an idea of like what I need to say, like what I want to specifically highlight. Like if I'm gonna go to a certain place, I have an idea of what I want to order and like what I'm gonna say. But when we're there, like we're just kind of like are just winging it. Like I think I told somebody this recently, but like we take like 15 to 20 minutes of footage and then I drop like a 1-minute video. So it's like I'll say a whole bunch of stuff, and like most of it is garbage, and then I'll just choose whatever I think is like the most entertaining or the most useful, and then we'll keep that. But yeah, I guess it just depends on the place. Sometimes I'm just in a sillier mood, so it'll just be kind of jokes. Sometimes I want to take it more seriously, so I want to be a little bit more like descriptive about what it's about. Because at the end of the day, I'm trying to put on like the more Latin American type stuff, and like especially when I was in Ecuador, I want to communicate this food as if I'm communicating like French food or like Italian food, because I think it deserves that much respect. All the foods of like Latin America. So I think it deserves a little bit of like treating it as if it's like a fancier food or something that's like more important, which to me it is, right? So I think it's just the way that you communicate these things is how people perceive it or ingest it, if that makes sense.
I'm so happy you're here. The core of Una Conversación, as I've navigated this journey I started this like 3 years ago, and as I'm navigating this, its core is always like putting on people like trailblazers, noisemakers in the community. And like, I think one thing that really stood out to me about your content is like, this is what I love to see. Like, I want to see people who look like me putting on things that, like, putting me onto things that I want to see. That I feel like there's not enough of Christians making this food content in our space. Not saying that maybe they're not appearing on my feed, but the point is like, I'm glad you're doing it, because there's actually a video, and it wasn't too long ago, and I think I even reposted it. I have said this so often, and I couldn't believe you were saying it when I saw it. You went to a spot, we don't have to say where, you went to a spot and somebody was up in arms in your comments because they were charging X amount of dollars for a taco. Oh my God. I'm sorry, but like your response to me was chef's kiss, because sure, like at the end of the day, no one wants to pay $20 for a single taco. I'm being exaggerative for the sake of the story, but like I really love like how you defended that, and I was wondering if you don't mind like just kind of unpacking that comment for like those who may not have seen the video, or like what happened there.
I mean, yeah, like this is kind of like at the core of like what the whole point of like my whole video is. Like, yeah, like I like that the way you describe it. Like they're supposed to be entertaining and fun, and like they're jokes. Like they're at the end of the day, it's not serious. It's just a joke. It's just for fun. Like I'm not trying to be a Discovery Channel or be Anthony Bourdain. Like it's just for fun. You know what I mean? It's TikTok. But also, like I'm not like I'm a person. That's my page. That's my social media. So if you comment something that I perceive to be like kind of racist, I'll respond to it. So like you saying that you don't want to pay $10 or $12 for a taco, it's reasonable, but also like for you to say that it doesn't deserve that price is crazy to me. Because like we are happy to pay this price for like Italian food, French food, and not to single those foods out. I've worked in some great Italian restaurants with some amazing chefs, and it deserves the price point, especially if it's like handcrafted. But an empanada is also handcrafted. And so is a taco where the tortilla is made fresh and they mill the corn and everything's fresh, and it's like in a nice setting. Like these things are things you have to pay for. So it's not like just me eating something off the street. Yeah, it should be $3, but if I'm in a beautiful restaurant and they took time and care to make this dish for me, then I believe it deserves the same price that we would pay for European food.
Everything about you is light and fun, but I really respect the fact that you stand on business for the things that deserve to be stood on business for. I think it's important to know where you stand and like to defend what you believe in, and like thank you for saying that. Thank you for giving me the words about how I feel about all of this, because it's not like I wake up in the morning and think about this, but like it's still true. And I think that maybe we are conditioned to believe that like Latin American foods are not as of such value at times, and there's so many layers to that. But at the end of the day, what you've described and how you put that so eloquently is like, I think what the message that needs to be delivered. Not that you're walking around making this your I'm
not here to make political
mission.
statements, right?
No,
but like
not at
also
all.
just to have like light and fun, because like food is supposed to be fun and chill. Like it's nothing too crazy about it. It's just food. We all eat food every day, right?
Yeah.
But also food's very political, I think, as well. But like that's not exactly what I'm trying to do, but there's that aspect of it where it's like I'm a real person, so I can see your comments. I read all the comments. So like if it's something that's I think is dumb, then I'll reply to it.
Speaking about experience, I'm happy to know that for the most part, your page is not filled with those. You put out great content with honestly really decent and positive reviews. I guess my question for you is, in a space that like a lot of people find themselves in, where like someone like me who wants to check out a new restaurant, right? What is the first thing I'm gonna do? I'm gonna go on TikTok, I'm gonna search the spot and like see what's up. And most of the time I am gonna find only good reviews. My question to you is like, do you intentionally not deliver bad reviews, or like Like, how do you want to navigate that? Like, I'm just curious if I was in your shoes, because I feel like if I was in your shoes, I too would never want to put out a bad review. I'm just going to put out the good ones, because like, why do I want to bash on a business? But I don't know, because some influencers do. So like, how do you view that?
It's tough, because like at the end of the day, like I've worked in these restaurants and I know how hard it is to work in a restaurant and to like put out your food to be judged by a bunch of people who don't know what they're talking about, right? So on one hand, yes, I understand that I need to be honest, and I definitely am honest, 100%. Like, for example, I go to a pupusa place, I love the pupusa, but they have bad service. I'm gonna say that it's bad service. It's the truth, you know what I mean? But also, I don't go to places that I know I'm not gonna like. I don't also just go to places that they're all inviting me to, you know? I think when you get to, like, when you gain followers or gain views, like these people just invite you to all these little restaurants that maybe I've never heard of or I'm not too sure about. And obviously I just won't go if I'm not sure, if I don't like it. I think right now, like the videos that I've made have all been just spots that I've grown up eating at or places that I already like. So I know I like them. I'm just talking to you about places that I like, not necessarily like reviewing a place that I'm going for the first time. There's one bad review on my page though, like a couple at least. I went to Prince Street Pizza. I had a terrible time over there. So the bad review, I left it up. It's terrible pizza.
That's tea. That's tea. You know what? The algorithm is actually not pushing me the bad reviews.
You won't see that.
Maybe it's a me thing. Okay, I love that. And you know, you mentioned that there's people inviting you to places. I mean, you ended up here because I invited you. So obviously you're doing something right. How does it work? Like, is it, I'm sure it's case by case, but do you find that for the most part it's like, hey, like, come check us out, we'll give you free food, or hey, we'll pay you for this, or like, what does that world look like if you're comfortable sharing?
Okay, well, this is an exception. Like, I've seen the guests you've had on here. You've had like real serious guests, and then she invites me on this show, and I'm like, what the heck? I'm just a guy making little silly videos on my phone. Like, you had like real moguls on this thing, so I'm very honored to be here. But like, I don't know, like everyone invites you. Like once, like what? It's a business at the end of the day. I'm providing a marketing service to some people, right? So like, okay, wow, this video got 100,000 views. If I can convert 1% of that to customers, that's 1,000 people that will come to my business, right? So it's very, very valuable to a lot of businesses to do this. But then again, like I think you lose authenticity and integrity in your page when you do only that type of content. So it's like for every 5 videos that I would like to do that just shows off stuff that I like, then maybe I'll do a paid one, which is kind of a double-edged sword because I would love to make money. You can't make money on TikTok in Toronto really, apart from like brand deals. So if I find a nice brand that I like, then yeah, we can make something happen, and I'll charge them some money. But otherwise, like if I like the business for the most part, I'll just go there and do the video for free, and hopefully that they're happy with me giving an honest review. And the first time I did that, it turned out like really positive for the business. So I think it like worked out very well. But I don't know, as I grow, I'm not sure what I'm gonna do. It's just something that I just go like day by day. I don't have a plan on that.
See, I was just about to ask you that, because now I'm like, okay, like, you know, I think social media is in a cool place right now where like, I feel like once you plant enough seeds, you start reaping that, right? You get the views and you kind of get this little ball rolling. And I guess in my head, I'm trying once again to put myself in your shoes. I'm like, once you've filmed or have checked out one spot, are you already thinking of like, do you already have the next 3 spots lined up? Kind of like, because your output is incredible as well. Like, again, why I think you're always on my For You page. So it's like, is that how your brain is working?
Well, thank you. Like, I don't know, like I've tried to post a little bit more just because like in the time that I was unemployed, like I really enjoyed doing this. So I don't know, I try to post a video like every couple days if I can. But no, like it's random. Like I'm honestly this organized person in my real life. Like if someone calls me, I'll be like, yeah, sure, let me check my schedule. Okay, I'll come tomorrow or like next week. Or I just think about where I want to go next, like what I like. It's just what I like. So I don't know how to answer that. It's just what I like to eat, and I'll just post that. But eventually I'll run out of those places and I'll have to figure out what to do. So I don't know.
I really, really love that. I think that it's just, if you aren't doing something you love, like why are you even doing it? So I think that is a great answer. I think you answered that great. Also, I need to backtrack to what you said. I'm sorry, but you definitely belong at the table. Like, I am so excited for this episode, and you are too humble. It's insane. I can't wait to see what you do next, and like just like with each, I think for me it's like even knowing that you're just doing this because you like it, that's enough. Like why that isn't, wow, this is so deep. Doing things just because you like them is enough. Has an epiphany. I'm so happy that that's your response to all this. And you know, as we come to the end of this conversation, I do have one more kind of funny question. Like you mentioned, we were talking off camera, and it's interesting. Like we kind of grew up in similar areas, like areas that are close by to each other. We never crossed paths, but that made me think. You know, how many people must be seeing your content that maybe went to school with you or like knew you, or I'm just wondering what has been the most like kind of funny or interesting reaction since you've started like posting this content. Like anything that stands out, or have people just been leaving you alone?
Honestly, no, my family loves it. Like my family is like my biggest fans, which I was kind of shocked by. Well, I'm not shocked by it, but it's interesting to think that like all my little cousins and stuff are like watching my videos, and like they'll text me about it, and it's cool. Like you mentioned that like I'm in group chats. Like I went to my brother's wedding last week, and I met like his wife's whole family, and they all knew me, and I thought that was kind of crazy. Like it's odd. Nothing crazy reactions. I think like here's some tea actually. Like people who have unfollowed me off Instagram in the past, like all of a sudden are following me back, and like they want to be friends now, but I don't want to be friends with you anymore. I'll look you right in the eye when I say this to you. I'm a very petty person. Just kidding. Cut that out, please.
No, that's tea. You're keeping that in.
But no, nothing crazy like that. I don't see it like that. I don't know. Like I don't see it from your perspective, and I kind of don't want to, because like I really appreciate like you telling me that you like it and it's nice. But I also believe that like if you start to believe these things too much, then like your head blows up, and like I don't know. I don't believe the positive stuff that I hear, but I also don't believe the negative stuff that I hear, because obviously I read every single comment, every one, and like a lot of them are negative, but it's like okay, negative, positive, like they'll balance each other out, so I don't really mind what anyone's thinking or how they perceive it.
Comment.
I read every single comment. I read every DM, every comment. Of course, I respond to most of them too.
Do you ever get bad ones?
Comments or DMs?
Both.
The DMs are crazy, but like
what's happening in the DMs?
The DMs
what do
are
you
just
mean?
Weird. The DMs are weird. Like I've never been been public like this. Like my Instagram's always been private and stuff, so people are not messaging me a bunch of random stuff. So I have like a bunch of random people on my DM just like asking me to do a bunch of stuff. Like I don't know. This is
that's interesting though. No, that's it. I'm sorry. I love that. That's your mindset. Love that you. Honestly, I think it's very unique to meet someone in the creator space that is not necessarily doing it for the numbers or the followers, because I'm telling you, there are people who wake up every day posting content in hopes that one will go viral, which is like kind of Black Mirror-ish of our society. But like honestly, I think you already explained that very well, that like you're just doing this because you like it. It's not that serious. And I think that's like when you treat things that way, like I think that's like when things happen for you. Also, it's funny because I'm thinking like, you know, maybe that's half, I don't think you realize this. I think that's half true. I think you do care in the sense of like, you respect the message and you care. Like,
so I care like if it's a business that I like and I want them to do well, I want that to do well. But like, I learned this lesson when I went to Ecuador this year. I was in Ecuador for like a month and a half. And like, as soon as I left Toronto, my videos went from like all these views, and my first like 5-10 videos in Ecuador all got like 1,000 views. And I put so much effort into them, and I was like so proud to share part of my country. And I'm like, okay, I hope that these videos all get views. I thought they were great. They're my favorite videos. They got 1,000 views. And like, I was like miserable for like a week, and I'm like, you know what? I don't care anymore. I'm just gonna post whatever I like, and like, I don't even look at the views anymore. And that's like a freeing thing, because otherwise, if I'm posting every day, like stressing about the views, it's not fun anymore. And like you can tell, I think you can tell if I'm not having fun in the video. It seems fake. So otherwise, if I do it like that, I can't do it the way that I'm doing it, and it's not as rewarding, so I can't focus on that.
Kristian, I am very appreciative of your time. And I just want you to know that sitting here listening to you talk about this, it really just kind of brings me back to like, I'm sorry to say this again, but like this is really bringing me back to like why I started with Conversación. And like, it's just like really inspiring to like, just hear that perspective again of like just doing things like with good intention, and like thanks for being so honest about like, because that would make me sad too if I came back and like the videos I love the most are the ones getting the least views. Are you kidding me? I'm deleting this whole app right now.
No, for real.
Like thanks for sharing that. That's so real. But also like keep going, and like Toronto needs this. The restaurants in the GTA, like Toronto has so much good food. And I think like the more representation we can have, it's crazy because like I don't even think you went into this necessarily like wanting to be like that ambassador, but like it's cool that like by in doing so and just existing and just being who you are, like you are doing that, and I think that's such a win for all Latinos in the GTA. But no, seriously, like, don't stop. Thank you for coming on and just being so real with it. And I mean, I don't know how you feel about this, but do you have any advice for anyone who's interested in doing the same thing? A lot of pressure.
Well, first of all, thank you so much. Thanks for having me here. Like I said before, I don't even know why I'm on this show, but like, I'm really honored. Like, this is a production. You guys don't see this, but there's lights, there's cameras. There's a guy here with a microphone and everything. Like, he had one of those things that say action. So this is real. Like, I just phone with my little phone. We kind of yell into it. It doesn't matter. Like, so this is great. So this is really cool. And also, I appreciate what you're doing because I watched all the podcasts and they were so insightful. That's kind of how I ended up here because I messaged you because I watched the podcast with Ricky. And I'm like, I love this. It was so cool to listen to. But advice, I don't know, like, I feel like I'm not in a position to give anybody advice, but if somebody wants to start doing this or they think that this is cool, just do it. Like, don't worry too much about like what people are gonna think. I think that's what stopped me from doing this. I'm almost 30 years old. And I should have done this way earlier. That's the only regret that I have. I would have started earlier, but I was always worried about what people are gonna think about me. Just don't care what someone thinks about you. Find something that you love. If you don't love it, then you're not gonna wanna do the videos because honestly, editing sucks and it's like such a tedious thing for me. And find people that are gonna encourage you, honestly, because my friends and family have been so encouraging to me that like are even to beyond my expectations, you know. So I really appreciate that, and I think that's it. If you have any questions, just DM me. I'm always happy to talk to people and stuff, you know. I don't have that many friends.
Thank you so much, Kristian. Keeping it real, keeping it 100. Life advice for free, 99. All right, we're gonna wrap this up. I have it's a variation of this or that, but not really. I'll explain. You're from Ecuador, and you guys have some delicious food.
The best food.
And if you haven't seen Kristian's TikTok, you should go see his whole Kristian in Ecuador series. But that being said, I can imagine that it would be maybe near to impossible for you to just narrow down one favorite dish, but we're gonna try that today. So I'm going to give you two foods to choose from. You're gonna pick your favorite, and we're gonna eventually narrow it down to the winner.
Okay, this is easy.
Starting with, I feel like this is gonna be really easy for you. You seem very decisive. Nonetheless, here we go. Encebollado versus ceviche.
Oh, that should have been the final, you know. Oh, encebollado.
Okay. Hornado versus fanesca.
Hornado.
Encebollado versus hornado.
Encebollado, for sure.
Pan de yuca versus tres leches.
Tres leches.
Encebollado versus tres leches.
It depends, like, where's the encebollado from?
Pick one.
You know, like, is it from Ecuador or is it from here? Ecuadorian encebollado, absolutely. Yes. Any bowl of encebollado in Ecuador, I'll choose that over almost anything. So yes, I'll choose that, sorry.
Even if you can't have tres leches ever again? Ever?
Yeah, if that meant that I could eat encebollado all the time, yes, absolutely.
We got a winner. There you go. There you have it. Kristian's #1 Ecuadorian dish to end this awesome conversation. Thank you again for coming.
Can we eat these empanadas?
Yes, we can eat the empanadas. Please enjoy, dig in. Thank you so much, Luis.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Looks so good.
I'm like, I don't even know.
What's,
oh my gosh.
This is thick.
It's heavy. Thank you so much for watching. We're gonna finish eating. Kristian, thank you for coming.
Thanks for having me.
I'm gonna see you on the next one. My mouth is full. Bye.